points and 10 boards.
Game plan discipline. You know, Kawhi and Lou Will. You know, our guards got to do a better job of directing the ball, sending the way we're supposed to send it, and the bigs got to do a better job of, you know, being up and helping. So it was a two-way street there from both guards and bigs. But, you know, when we start doing what we're supposed to do defensively, you know, we got back in the game, tied it up, and then we just had some costly turnovers at the wrong time of the game. But, you know, they made some tough shots. You know, we just talking about they had 50 points off the bench. So, you know, if we allow that, you know, we deserve to be beat. But, you know, we're going to continue to get better. Get ready for Friday.
There's a big disparity in the bench points tonight. Is that a matter of waiting for Kuz to come back for that unit, or do you have to figure it out now?
No. Obviously, Kuz helps. He's very talented and able to score, but, you know, we just miss a lot of shots. You know, Quinn missed a couple shots. You know, it's a lot of first game. You know, we're not, you know, down or upset. You know, we stand level-headed and just, you know, go into the next game, you know, look at the film tomorrow, figure out what we can do better on both ends of the floor, make some adjustments, and then, you know, like I said, get ready to throw it up against Utah.
Specifically against you, do you feel like the Clippers were really trying to utilize physicality to throw you off on offense?
Yeah, I don't know what they're trying to do. I really don't care. You know, I was just making the right reads. You know, they wasn't coming to double as much, so I was just trying to make them pay. And then when they did, they're trying to find the right guy. You know, we made some good plays. Like I said, the defensive end kind of, you know, hurt us offensively. I think the defense we definitely have to clean up and get better at. But, you know, I just try to take what the defense gave me.
So Davis struggled as he got further away from the basket. He shot 6 for 8 Tuesday on shots within 3 feet of the basket. Outside of 3 feet, he was just 2 for 13. That's 15%. LeBron James didn't shoot it particularly well either. 7 of 19. Did have 18 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists. Let's listen into his post-game comments now on SportsCenter.
I think the second quarter, like you said, they made some tough shots. We kind of let our offense dictate our defense, and you know, we have to be better at that. And obviously, 40 points in any quarter is too much. You know, and down the stretch, we had some careless turnovers, some costly turnovers when we were making a run. Myself, I know I had 3 of them that was just very careless. You know, and they capitalized off of it.
Ball movement was pretty good in the preseason. They were switching a lot tonight, but what did you see there defensively as you guys got stagnated at times?
I mean, at times we got stagnated, but at times we still got great shots. You know, TD had a great look off dribble penetration. Queen had a couple looks, you know, in that fourth quarter that didn't go. We had some great looks, they just didn't go. So, you know, it's kind of easy to point it out when we don't score. But I think we had some dribble penetration. We had some good kickouts that just didn't go for us. So. We're always a pass-first team, want to get guys involved, get the guy whoever's open a great look, and you know, and live with the result.
LeBron, do you think the defensive issues that cropped up today are sort of issues of guys learning to play together, or is it one of intensity?
I don't think they're issues. You don't have issues after one game.
You lined up to take 2 charges. It's not the most typical thing that you do. Is that something that is the situation called for it, or is it something that shows a commitment to the defensive end?
For me, I do whatever it takes to help us try to win a ball game. You know, and put myself in a position where I was able to take a couple charges. You know, and that's what it's about. I mean, for me, it doesn't. You know, I can go get block shots when we need it. I can try to take some charges if I'm there in position. You know, try to stop my man from scoring, and so you know, it's always going to be, you know, multiple opportunities for me to be, you know, on time, on target on the defensive end.
You know, it usually takes a couple months to see a team's true character, but this was such a big first test and first game and build up to this rivalry and all the physicality. Did you like just the grit and the mentality that you guys brought to the table?
No, I disagree. I disagree on how big of a test it was. It's the first game. You know, obviously the NBA is back, and that's what everybody's trying to have the narrative of a rivalry game, and it's a huge test. I think both teams are not who they want to be. We have a lot of room to improve. We're a new group that's coming together. We have a new coaching staff. We have a new system. And it's not a rivalry. We're trying to get better every single day on how we can be as great as we can be. We did some good things tonight. We did some not so good things. And that happens in a game one, especially for a new club. So we look forward to getting in the film room tomorrow and seeing, you know, some of the mistakes that we made where we could have been better at.
You personally, what was it like to get back on the court after such a long layoff for you?
Ecstatic. I was so excited to get back on the floor. Obviously, a little rusty as far as, my perimeter shooting and just not being in a game situation in a while, not playing. I haven't played, that many minutes in quite a while since I set the last 9 games off, from last season. But just to be able to go out there and fly around once again and jump high and, and just be at 100%. It's something I worked my tail off after I had the groin injury in December. I'm just trying to get back to who I am. And so, it was great to get back out there.
LeBron, Danny had that huge third quarter for you guys. What do you see him being able to do for you as a team going forward?
Whatever we need. He's going to defend. He's going to knock down shots. He's a big-time player. He's a big-time shooter, and he's a champion. So you never have to worry about if he's going to be there every night.
LeBron, you talked a lot this summer about, or before the season, about seeding some offense and playing through AD. What's that like in practice, and how big of a process is it to kind of transition to that?
No, I don't think it's much of a process. Obviously, our offense is going to continue to get better and better on how we can, get AD in a proper position for him to be effective, and how, as a team, we all can be effective as well. And we showed tonight. There were times where we were great. There were times where we could be a lot better, and especially for me being the point guard of the team right now, being able to put guys in position, and also being able to put myself in position, too, to be aggressive at times, too. So, we take look at more film, and like I said, it was a great test as far as us on how we can be better. Appreciate it.
Gave you 30 points in your first official win as a Clipper. What was it like just to see the fans stand on their feet and experience this with your new teammates?
It was great. A lot of emotions, game one, but I'm just happy we came out and got a victory. We played a great practice the last week. Everybody competing, pushing everybody's limits, and we had some carryover tonight.
You don't always show your emotion, but what were some of those emotions that you were feeling leading up to this game?
Like I said before, once I'm playing the game, I'm locked in, so I'm thinking about the next play. But before the game last night, it's a lot of emotions knowing that my family's going to be here tonight, and I'm just back here playing in the Staples in my hometown. It's just amazing.
You guys put together a great win. You did it without Paul George, and some of the best runs of the game were when you were resting on the bench. What do you think about the depth of this team and the potential?
You see what they did last year. They was an 8 seed, 7 seed playoff team. These guys fight. They fight hard every single night. And, just because I'm here or Paul's here, we're not going to stop. But we're missing a couple more pieces. Rodney's out still. Great defender, great spacer for us. So he'll be great once we all come on board.
So Leonard with 30 points in his first game as Clipper. You see where that ranks. Billy Knight, Dominique Wilkins, Phil Smith, and Sam Cassell, the only players who top him in their Clippers debut. Most importantly, though, they get the W in the battle for L.A. Everybody was at the game, including Michael Wilbon, who joins us now on SportsCenter. So, Mike, the Clippers make the big splash with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, and it's the bench that helps see them through once again, just like they did last year.
It really did. It just looks like wherever Kawhi Leonard goes, he can just apply that formula, doesn't it? Defensively, they were just clearly better than the Lakers were, holding LeBron and Anthony Davis to, 15 for 40 shooting. And they just never seemed to be able to get in the rhythm because that defense was always being applied to them. And if it meant doing that when both Anthony Davis and LeBron James were on the floor, the Clippers were able to do that. You mentioned Paul George, of course, he did not play. He was in a tuxedo, looked great, but not in uniform. And so if you're a Clipper fan tonight, you're thinking, wow, what happens when we get Paul George in this lineup? If you think we were good defensively without him, what happens when we have him? And they're going to be better defensively. They're going to be better offensively. They're going to be better in all ways, the Clippers. This has got to be a pretty triumphant evening for the Clippers. They were sort of underdogs in their own home game, if you will, Stan. Everybody here, and you know this, you live here. I'd say 60% of the people, if not more, were cheering for the Lakers. Yeah. It did not sound like a Clipper home game, but it had to feel like a triumphant night for a team also still feeling its way with its new star to have their way with the Lakers.
All right, so they get a solid all-around game from LeBron James, good scoring night from Anthony Davis, and 28 from Danny Green. but still not enough. And I think that's going to be the question with the Lakers. Do they have enough surrounding their star players? What was your impression of that?
Well, I mean, you would think there'll be more, but Danny Green, of course, had one of his most prolific offensive games of his career. Danny Green really kept them in this, particularly when the Lakers were already down, I think at one point 12 points, and it could have been down 20. And that was after a 13-2 lead, by the way. So the blitz really came. But yeah, I mean, look, Kyle Kuzma is still going to wind up playing. Not many people are going to be able to hold LeBron James and Anthony Davis to that percentage shooting. As the season gets on, as those guys instinctively play better with one another. Again, Kuzma will be in the lineup. So, I mean, it's the first night for the Lakers, too. I don't think any conclusions should be formed, and certainly none jumped to. But, again, if you're the Clippers, you got to be feeling pretty good about how you played. And Stan, the one thing that so many people thought last year, and I mean old school players who just tune in and watch the Clippers on television or watch them in person, they often talked about, and I'm sure you heard this, how hard the Clippers play.
Right.
That seemed to transfer and travel from the end of last season when they were a 48-win team with no stars to a team tonight which had one big star and another big star on the way. And Doc Rivers talked about plugging in, plug and play. And if you can play this hard with that personnel and get those results, I mean, that's the season that the Clipper faithful, Clipper Nation, if there's any such thing, still pretty small relative to Laker Nation. That's what they're hoping for.
All right, and Montrezl Harrell and Lou Williams again coming off the bench for Doc Rivers and picking up right where they left off last year, being productive and bringing a spark when the reserves come in.
I mean, to score 60, I mean, I looked up and it was 51 points early in the third. And Lou Williams, sweet Lou all by himself can put up half that some nights, but he didn't have to. I mean, that was a sort of a brigade that came charging off the bench to hit the Lakers. And so when we're talking about the Lakers having enough firepower help in their starting lineup, look what the Clippers are able to produce with their reserves. And again, these are things that are not like new. I mean, it's not shock and awe. They did a lot of this last year without the personnel. Again, a 48-win team. And you saw the characteristics. And I know one of the things Doc Rivers talked about before the game, Stan, was being able to have those same characteristics and a massive upgrade in talent when you're talking about the MVP twice of NBA Finals in Kawhi Leonard, and you're going to add Paul George. And so the personality of the Clippers is probably, again tonight, game one, but it's exactly what they hoped to have and looked a whole lot like what they had last year in that 48-win season.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression, but good first impression for the Clippers.